Happy New Year's, gamers.
Happy New Year's.
Hope you guys had a good one. I drank way too much. We have all been playing Valhalla. I am more or less done with it. I think I picked up all the lore. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm done, but I didn't unlock all the armor.
I'm so bad at roguelikes. I can't get to the end for the life of me. I'm getting inching closer and closer though.
So,
Nice.
What is the end for you?
Well, there's a mission, right? It says do the work, part 1.
Mhm.
I think I'm on that right now. I'm just waiting until all the dialogue stops.
It was pretty cool, all of the new lore that they added for War Valhalla. The little snippets that you get after beating Valhalla 2 makes it very interesting and worthwhile to get into. It almost makes me want to get into New Game Plus. A lot of what you do is going to be for cosmetics. I mean, I think like in and of itself it's good enough until they decide, if they ever decide, to come out with an expansion for this game, like aside from Valhalla, because I think Valhalla was more like a DLC, like a side project, not really like an expansion on the story in itself, more than just an epilogue.
It's just Kratos and Mimir. You don't get Freya to help you, which, I mean, like, Valhalla's sense, like, I guess that makes sense, because as she says, she's never died, so she can't enter Valhalla.
She's just there to scold you.
She's just there to be the mean wife. And then, yeah, of course, like, no Atreus mentioned at all. This is all just a little personal journey for Kratos.
I would think like the lore are like letters to Atreus. Nothing like
okay.
dialogue wise. There's no mention of Atreus. Yeah, because if you read some of the lore, it's like, I miss having you here when we used to slay these beasts or some shit like that.
Oh,
and I'm like,
okay.
oh yeah, he's talking to Atreus.
Yeah. It's just gonna help us lead into whatever the next game is. No, it's not Atreus 1. Don't
It
even...
is Atreus 1.
Don't even say. I mean, you're probably right, though. Yeah, he's leaving to go find all the other giants. I mean, with this game, the last game, they're touching on all the other mythologies. And that just makes me think that, maybe it will be Atreus going to these different realms, and then having to fight those gods or whatever.
Yeah, that would be cool if he goes to Egypt, finding a lost titan or a lost giant that maybe gets kerfuddled, confused for another god, It would be something if there were, like, survivors of the Pantheon that kind of, like, I guess, like, kind of hunt down Atreus. That would be cool. Because I think that there would be remnants of the Greece Pantheon that made it into other pantheons.
Yeah, well, I know the only 2 gods Kratos didn't kill was Aphrodite, because I think you just bang her in God of War 3.
They had sex.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and he's like, you know what? Yeah, you're good. You're good. You can stay here. And then there was like one other major god that he just doesn't fight. I can't remember off the top of my head, but as far as I know, like the major ones, those are the only 2. But that would be interesting, though, if Atreus interacts with someone from Greece, or someone that knows exactly what happened and told him.
There's definitely a lot of open doors.
Yes. I still want Athena to show back up and be real, because she went into, like, that extra plane of reality, or whatever, at the end of 3. Also, I'm pretty sure Atreus still doesn't know that Kratos killed Calliope and his wife, right?
Oh, yeah.
Fuck, man, you're talking about Calliope. They do bring that up in Valhalla. That is important.
Yeah, because she was brought up a couple times in Ragnarok. I was actually pretty surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah, her and what is the other one's name?
It's I think it's Lysandra or something.
Yeah, Lysandra. That's his.
Her only mentioned is, I think it's just in Chain of Olympus, right, or Ghost of Sparta. That's the only time her name's brought up.
Man, it's nice to see him like reflect on like his past and stuff, though. A guy whose literal existence was to just like hack and slash through this whole pantheon as we made him do,
and fuck. Don't forget fuck,
of course, with the QTEs, of course. And it's like now all of a sudden he has these retrospects. He's like, oh man,
I shouldn't have fucked that much.
I shouldn't have ripped his head off that way. It could have been a better person. It's a good way to end like the saga of Kratos, I think.
Because I think some people tend to forget, but Kratos was actually a deep character to a point in the original games. It was sort of like a Greek tragedy. like sure, like he kills the big boys, all the gods and stuff, but like there's like some of those small moments sometimes, and then you can see he has there's parts where he'll reflect on what just happened, but he has to keep going because he's on a hell-bent revenge quest kind of thing. I think they do that more.
Stopping this train.
Yeah, they do that more with the PSP games, I think, right? Like, cause like is it Chains of Olympus?
Chains of Olympus. You have that QTE where you have to leave Calliope again.
Yeah, you gotta leave.
So that's a lot of thought in there. I'm like, oh man, that's important.
What is it?
Other than that, I don't remember any other big ones.
Well, I think his mom. He has to go save his mom at some point, right?
Yeah, he meets his mom with his brother. That's Ghost of Sparta. It's like one of the very first things that he does. I think is like he's already in Tartarus or something like that.
I've been thinking about going back and just replaying all of the God of War just to see how far we've come, dude. Because it's a pretty lengthy, girthy storyline for Kratos.
Oh yeah.
I think if you get PlayStation Premium, you can get the PS3 God of War collection, which has all of these games.
Oh, it's the God of War Saga collection, I think it's called.
Yeah, but the PS3 one specifically has the PSP ones too, because the PSP one has only God of War 1, and God of War 2. It doesn't have Ghost of Sparta or Chains of Olympus. Man, I can't wait till you get to God of War 3, though. This shit's a blast. That's always my favorite one, like, legitimate to go back to. Like, God of War 3 is just such a clutch game. The climax of like, the whole hype battle between him and his whole entire familial pantheon. Hercules is probably, like, my favorite character from God of War 3.
I think one of my favorite deaths is in God of War 3. It's when he kills Hera. He just snaps her neck and walks away. It's so good.
Nice.
She's just like the pissed off drunk aunt. She shows up and then he just like, fuck this, walks up, just grabbed her and little snap and then walked away. Yeah, I hope you're having a good time, Gerry, because it's just gonna get better the further you get in.
Oh yeah, I'm having a good time just relearning all the combos for each weapon. Looking out for those realm shifts, because that helps me so much. I hate the elves. I just wanted to re-clarify that. I'm pretty sure we talked about that before, but I'm bringing that back up.
Those are the worst ones for you?
God damn it.
The elves?
Yeah.
They're just annoying because they move around a lot.
Yeah.
The gremlins are the ones that I hate the most. Can I be honest with you? I don't know if you've seen those.
Oh, yeah,
Those little tiny things that give you, like, the health protect, There's, like, these little tiny imps. They're from,
Yeah,
from Vanaheim.
Was that, like, the little chanting thing, and then they give them a buff or some shit?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, those guys suck, too. I hate those.
Yeah, I was doing, like, some crazy-ass combo on an enemy, and I was like, oh, I'm doing pretty good. I looked like, wait, how's their health? Wait, what's that green? Oh, god damn it, dude. They were here the whole time. I just wasted all this for nothing.
They gotta be priority number one, and it sucks, because, like, they're usually surrounded by, like, these annoying other mobs.
The ones I usually see get buffed with are paired with the centaurs. Well, I hate those things. Yeah, a lot of the new monsters that they brought in are really cool, but you can tell that they're also just kind of reskins.
Yeah,
I think the ones that probably give me not the hardest time, but just kind of like the most annoying to deal with are going to be the Minotaurs, because they have a lot of red attacks, and then when they do give you a blue ring, it's like right when they're about to launch like that lava shit at you.
Yeah. What difficulty did you pick, Gerry?
So I started on very hard, and then I went to regular or normal hard. It's still pretty hard.
What I noticed is once you get like your permanent stats up a certain point, it's like, yeah, it just gets easier. There's a certain point where it's like, well, you have to do a certain amount of like challenges to proceed into like the next part. And it's like, but you can still keep going and go around. And yeah, I was at the point where like, yeah, I'll just do it all. Why not? Like, I'm already here.
That's the way to do it. You got to do it all.
Yeah, no, it's super fun, and I have to say, I was impressed by how much they pull from. There's some deep cuts in there, and I didn't even notice until I think like Mimir will ask Kratos a question about something, and he'll bring it up, and then I look around and say, oh shit, he's right. Wow, that I would have never have guessed. I only wish they did what you were saying, Oscar, is bring back like bosses from the original saga. And to get thrown in there, because that could have been pretty fun.
Can you imagine just fighting Zeus again, or like in the way that you can fight these battles now, like I understand not all of those bosses would be like, I guess, remakeable. Like obviously we couldn't do the Hades fight again because that was just a lot of QTE and he was like overgrown, he was just a giant. But I think that we can do things like the Zeus fight from the end of God of War 2, right, where it's just you and him duking it out. You can do it. Same thing for 3 too, right? Because where you're fighting right after you open Pandora's box. There was a part where you can fight Ares. I think that would be cool. Like maybe not if they have to remake like the end fight where both of you had like the god powers. Maybe make it where it's, I guess, like a miniaturized version of Ares, and he's just got the sword out like the very last part with the like the spider legs and shit like that. It would be hard. But that's kind of what I expect, like a hard-ass boss fight, something crazy,
Yeah.
Like, I'm surprised that we didn't get, like, a Valkyrie Queen boss fight or something like that. Like, I know that we got one in Ragnarok, but there are moments where you can open a door, and the door has, like a skull mark on it. And that'll be like a boss fight basically. So you can like activate one early in your run if you want to. And I don't think that I got through every single cycle of bosses because it's really just like every single boss they'll just throw at you. I don't want to spoil like who I fight, but just like I'm saying, just take every boss to account, and I feel like that has a potential candidate to actually come up in the run for you. But I haven't seen any Valkyries. That's like the one thing that I haven't seen, and with every attempt of my run. So I feel like if they left that out, that's something that they could have put in there. I haven't seen gameplay on Valkyrie runs either. That's kind of something that they feel like that would have been permissible to have reused, because that was like the whole point in the first God of War, was these kind of exhibition matches with these hard ass bosses, so why not bring these back for the roguelike? To me, that only had made sense, but
yeah,
I can understand too that you wanted to use a lot of new things. Most of it's just ads, so it's more of like a challenge aspect. I feel like what they were really trying to do. Do you remember in God of War and God of War 2, they had the the challenge of the gods?
Oh yeah,
I feel like they're trying to incorporate that with a roguelike entity. So it's like a lot of these end game challenges. You have like the difficulty multiplier, and then adding in all of these hordes of ads, and you increasing your timer by getting kills, or you're not retaining health fast enough unless you get kills. Proc things on your builds that let you get health bursts or rage bursts. So it's really cool. It's definitely got a lot of replayability to it and strategy to it when it comes down to it. Challenge wise, they could have improved on that. It could have been harder in all categories, not just difficulty wise, not just for the amount of hits that I have to do on a boss.
Very interesting picks, I guess I'll say, for what they threw into this game, be it bosses or even like rewards. It's just interesting. I don't know, like I haven't really picked a lot of those where it's like, double when you do the shield break you get a perk kind of thing. It's like, how often? It's not very often I saw a lot of blue rings pop up.
The burdens are kind of tame, to be honest, in my opinion.
Yeah,
like there are things I can easily do without. Like I could do without stun for a couple of encounters, and I'll get the bonus at the end.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like too bad. It's not too difficult to where like if you want more rewards, it won't be like god awful like hard unless you put it on like the last difficulty, in which God help you. But
yeah.
It makes it fun to grind, because like it's not gonna be the same every run. So it's like they don't show up every time. They show up at the most opportune moment, I feel.
Yeah, I guess it feels like, this is a roguelike for people who don't play roguelikes, like for the challenging sake of it. Because I know, like I go back thinking to like Transistor, and like the burdens you can put on yourself in that game is really crazy, and they could have easily done something like that in here. But I don't think the average AAA gamer is going to be like super down for that, right? Because they're like, it's like with the Armor Core, You know, like a bunch of people that hopped on Elden Ring was like, oh, cool, like they have like a mech souls, awesome, and then they can't even beat the first boss, and they're like, this game fucking sucks. It's like, yeah, because that's not for you. That's for the freaks that have been here from the jump.
That's right.
But yeah, speaking of roguelites, we haven't talked about it yet, but we've been, every now and then we'll hop on and play some Mythforce. It's a new indie roguelite that is based off of Saturday morning cartoons from the 80s. I'm like, oh, hell yeah, sign me up, dude. That's all you had to say.
It really is such a good vibe.
It's very He-Man vibe going on.
Yeah, I was surprised that going through the story, we were still getting like cutscenes, like animated cutscenes, and they look like it would be from a cartoon.
It's really difficult.
Yeah.
Like, it's not something that I thought I would need, like, a whole group of people, you know, like a whole full squad, but yeah, like, it really that game tells you from the jump. It's like, hey, you can probably do this first level by yourself, and that's about it. There's unless you get like a good build, like a good RNG build, like off rip, like, it's pretty hard to keep up with all those ads and what they're doing.
That aspect, I'm like, oh yeah, this is our Necropolis 2 right here, baby.
Oh yeah, big time vibes with that. Roguelike with the boys is like, it makes you fall in love with gaming all over again.
See games starting to do that kind of thing, because it's like, oh, it's basically like the replayability aspect. We'll just keep adding more stuff in there.
I see more and more commercials for The Man with No Name.
Yeah, they've been really popping it off.
All of them that I've been seeing are in the English dub, and I'm kind of like,
Yeah, I hear Kiryu's voice actor he's talking. I mean, it's super cool that, you know, they're getting translated so more people could start playing those games. Yeah, I'm sticking to the Japanese dub, no question. Unless it's the original PS1 game with the dub.
I've been seeing some clips now that Yakuza is more mainstream. Saw like an old clip on Twitter of like a show that I guess that they had way back in the day, and it's just Yakuza 0, like where Yuki's still around, and him and Nishiki are just walking along right off of Kamurocho, and they run into her. And man, like, Kiryu is just such an old fucking man, bro. Like, he's just like
awesome.
He's got the wrinkles in his face and everything, and I'm like, bro, like, aren't you supposed to be like 20 right now? What is going on? Nishiki's over there just like kind of fucking around, like throwing kicks at Yuki, like, you got a boyfriend? Meanwhile, this guy's over here like, I can't do too much, or my back's gonna hurt.
From what I've heard, he is Gaiden has the best ending out of any of the Yakuza games so far.
That's wild, bro.
Well, yeah, I definitely want to play that, because that's going to be essentially the last beat-em-up Yakuza game, from what it sounds like. I don't know what's going on with the Judgment series, if that's still going to keep going.
I actually need to get around to playing those. I should.
Yeah, I know Grant just started playing them.
Yeah, the Judgment, I think it's nice because it sticks to its roots, and it's like with Like a Dragon doing its own thing, you know, and The Man with No Name, even though it is kind of like a beat 'em up, it has a lot of new mechanics from some of the gameplay that I've seen, like the little wristwatch thing that he
Spider-Man
has.
shit, yeah. Are you caught up, Oscar, to One Piece?
I have not seen 1103.
Oh my god, dude.
Twitter is constantly spoiling it for me, though.
Oh yeah. If you're not reading day of, just don't go on Twitter.
It's just the translations, man. That's the only reason why I wait. Sometimes I just don't like these fucking translations that I read, because it's not always from the same source that we read these new chapters from, and I just can't abide by that. I have to wait.
Well, I know with 1103, it's a special case because it's technically wasn't supposed to be out. We got it a week early because with like the Jump Festa stuff, they took a break for the new year for the magazine. So the official translation should be the one that like 1103 should have been out like this week or something.
Yeah, and shown in the Jump app, it says it's going to come out on either Wednesday or Thursday. It says 3 days from today.
Yeah, so that's when 1103 should be out. But yeah, dude, if you want to cry, man, read that chapter, dude.
But happy birthday, by the way, Mr. Oda.
Oh yeah, he was. Yeah, that's right. He's born on New Year's Day. That's right. God's gift to the world.
Happy birthday, Oda Sensei. Oh my lord.
The context of why we're getting the flashback, that resolves with this chapter.
And oh boy, it's a good one. And you were right about a couple things, Oscar. So
yeah, so when you read that, we'll come back and we'll talk about like close we were to what you were talking about. I forgot to post the link in the Discord, but I saw an announcement today that came out of nowhere. Yusuke Murata, the artist himself for One Punch Man, and like a bunch of other insane, like crazy good artwork. He just announced he's doing his own animation studio.
I hope that means that he's going to redo iShield 21. Like he just does like a new fucking anime for it.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that, sir, because there's going to be a new chapter for iShield 21.
No shit. A new chapter for iShield?
The anniversary is it's this year, so it's at some point this month we're going to get a new chapter.
I hope that comes on the Shonen app. That's such a good manga, bro. I loved iShield.
Yeah, they timed it right because it's I think his name's Inagaki. He the guy that writes Dr. Stone. They just wrapped up this epilogue arc for Dr. Stone.
I see that series keeps getting like, I don't know if it's in the Shonen Jump app. I think it's doing their like miniseries or spinoffs because now it's like I saw one that's titled Dr. Stone like 4D Space or something like that.
Yeah, it's like an epilogue arc or something. Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy. It ended, and then I think it got like 2 chapters, like not that long after it ended. That was essentially like a little epilogue of some questions that fans wanted answers to, like they never got answered. So that was like kind of his thing for it. But then now I guess this is just like to show you what the future is for the world of Dr. Stone or something. But I still need to check it out. I'm sure it'll be good.
One thing that I forgot to mention during God of War. If you've seen high-level gameplay for the hardest difficulty, I was talking to Gerry about this, a video that I put in the chat of this guy, and he's playing Give Me, the hardest difficulty, and he has the burden on. I had never once thought that I was playing a game wrong, considering how good I was doing and that I beat it. But when I saw him, I shit you not, dude, like, when you take a second, like, play the video on mute and just watch how he just moves with Kratos. And you just think to yourself, why the fuck haven't I been doing this the whole time? Like, this is real high level shit. The way I explained it to Gerry is he basically learned how to wave dash. Like, he just applied the Super Smash Brothers shit right into the game.
Oh yeah, I've seen people move in that game, and I'm thinking, I thought that's not how you move in here. Like, you're making it look like the old games for a second. We'll see what they do with Murata's animation studio. Everyone's saying One Punch Man Season 3. Are we finally going to get it? Is it finally going to be, like, awesome?
It's not like has done it before.
Yeah, exactly. Like, like early One Punch Man. Very, very GIF-friendly. Oh, dude, so how was -1, man? Because I still need to see that one.
Oh, my God. That shit made me cry 2 separate times, bro. Like, it was like, I... Usually, when you see Godzilla, you're there for Godzilla. The story was so encapsulating to me, bro. Like, it was just really good. I'm not gonna lie, they do the homage to the original look for Godzilla, just with the CG look. They give him the original theme, so like all of it's like very powerful when you see it like all together in the film.
Yeah,
I think it's like really, really cool. Yeah, it's definitely a 10 out of 10. Hell to the 10 out of 10, bro. In any case, whether you pay to see it now or wait until it comes out and you see it at home, like any time that you watch it is a good time. It's 2 hours too, so it's definitely like it's definitely worth it. It's worth your time. I feel it gives them a lot of time and pacing to set up everything right. I feel like if there's anything that you won't like, it's probably the end. Really, it's just depending on how you want to take it, because it's an ending that you would see coming, of course, but at the same time you're just like, I didn't really expect that or expect it to happen that way.
Only been hearing good things on it.
It makes me want to check out the ones that came on Netflix, because I haven't seen those either. I should revisit the Bryan Cranston one, because I haven't seen that one.
Oh, you haven't?
I saw the first the first 20 minutes, and then Bryan Cranston died, and I was like, I'm gonna pause this, and then I never got back to it.
No, it's I rewatched it recently, the last year when Godzilla vs. Kong came out. I was like, yeah, it's been a while. Like, let me check it out, see how it is. It's like a rough start into the MonsterVerse that they're doing, and I mean, it's fine. It's just very character heavy, you know, like it's all about Aaron Taylor Johnson's and like them trying to figure out what's going on, what is Godzilla, and all this kind of stuff. I think it's a little over 2 hours. It feels a lot longer because of how slow the pacing is. You don't necessarily, you know, need it for the MonsterVerse or whatever.
What was the other one that they put on Netflix? It was the one that came out, what was it, like last year?
Well, I know they have that Godzilla series on there, right? It's the CG one. Yeah, there's I hate that it's on Apple, but I hear it's really good. There's a Monarch show that ties into the MonsterVerse, and yeah, I hear it's pretty good.
Oh, what? I have Apple. What is the show called?
I think it should be called Monarch. It's like one of the groups in the MonsterVerse.
I also saw the Miyazaki movie, The Boy and the Heron.
Yeah, I saw that one too.
What'd you think?
It's interesting. I really wish it was like 30 minutes shorter, because that is also a 2 hour long movie. Man, this movie is still going, huh?
Where did you feel like it ended for you?
Like, yeah, they should have trimmed some of the fat in that movie. It almost feels like a mess in the second half, because I'm like, what are you trying to do here? Like, how do I say? It's not like a movie to... I would say it's a movie not to watch, but to like analyze, because it's very much a message of Miyazaki hating to let go and to have change. You know, obviously because he hates his son so much, that's why he keeps coming back and making movies.
What the fuck?
Oh, you didn't know this?
Hold on, wait a minute. No, I didn't know. We're getting away from this. Wait a minute. I thought when you were talking about not letting things go, you were talking about the plot of the movie, about how the boy didn't want to let go.
No, but that's where it ties into it, because like that's like it's a personal thing for Miyazaki.
So the boy is Miyazaki in the movie.
No, he's not. Well, I guess, I don't know, because then you see like the wizard man or whatever, like his great uncle. I will agree with one of my friends. The Japanese name is How Do You Live, which when you hear that, it's like, oh yeah, that makes sense for the movie instead of The Boy and the Heron. I wouldn't say it's up there though for like all the other Ghibli movies. It's definitely just something.
Honestly, I would say it was probably like a 7 or 8 for me. I like the story based off what I really enjoyed. Probably the most enjoyable moment for me is somewhere in the middle of the second act, like right where it starts.
Oh yeah.
You have like a good first hour, you know, before any action really starts, of just, you know, character introduction and exposition and stuff like that, and then the second hour is pretty much like where the movie's at. So pretty much right from that point is where I was interested in the movie. Like,
yeah, I was getting invested there too, because I was like, okay, they're setting up this thing with the boy, you know, it's like very normal-ish movie. And then we start getting into the weird stuff, like Studio Ghibli weird stuff. They just crank it to a 10 when they go to the next like main section of the movie. I said, okay, I'm kind of down for this now.
As it should, right? That's kind of what we wanted. Like, I wanted Spirited Away-esque shit pretty early. You know, for a 2 hour movie, we were hoping for a lot more of that. Yeah. But again, with the pacing and the way that things worked out, you know, I understand the way that he took his time with that. I also understand where you're coming from, though, where you feel like we can do like without like at least 30 minutes. And I think that this is going to be honestly in line with all that side B shit. Like, to be like, not really to spoil shit, but like all the stuff that's going on outside of the tower, or like with his dad and stuff. I'm like, I don't care. I don't care. Fuck you in the factory. I don't care.
There's one scene that pops up. That's all we needed from that. Like there's only one scene that where I'm like, yeah, that's actually important. Yeah, did you watch it in English?
Yeah, I liked it, especially with Robert Pattinson, his creepy ass voice. You hear that voice and you'd be like, why didn't he do Batman? Why didn't he do that for Batman? I don't understand.
Yeah, I saw the Japanese dub because that's all they had for the tickets on the opening week. But yeah, no, to circle back, the main reason that Miyazaki keeps coming out of retirement is because he just hates his son and is disappointed in him and what he's done with the studio.
God damn, that's rough.
Yeah.
Can't make that guy happy, man.
No, it's like the meme of him where he's just like, my life is miserable. I don't really care to bring it up, but yeah, Last of Us multiplayer got canceled. That's just awful. It's just stupid because like, oh, we have to, you know, if we're going to develop it, we're going to be pulling staff and resources away from single player games, and that's what we're all about. the first thing I thought was, gee, I mean, if that's the case, you should not have remade Last of Us Part 1 then.
Dude, I know. Now I can just understand that Naughty Dog is just going to go through and start recycling their IPs instead of trying to do something better. That excuse, I'm sorry, but I'm just going to say it, like, that excuse was not feasible to me. I understand, like, you're talking about whatever finite resources, but you could also get additional resources specifically for this. I don't understand what was so, like, troublesome for you to have the servers going for The Last of Us Part 1 when you did have them going on the PS3. Like, you had them going for a couple of years. It's not like it was a big deal. Like, to them, it must have been, like, this the worst fucking thing in the world, as if they ever had to really dedicate any time to, like, server maintenance or, like, lobbying or cheating. Because, like, the PS3 back then, like, you know, like, you were caught cheating on the PS3, who cares? It's not like it is now with all, like, the fucking software and hardware that you need for cheating. It is a bummer, man. Yeah. Like, it just feels like a cop-out. It doesn't feel, to me, it almost feels like the same way, like, the Day Before studio was kind of treating everybody when they were just like, you fucking lied to us. You know, it's just like, yeah, we could have done this, but thinking back on it now, it's like, it's just a waste of our time, and I didn't really feel like it was going to be worth it.
I think part of it was also because they wanted to do, like an actual story for multiplayer. Like, sure, there was the faction stuff in the first game, but I think they just wanted, like, an actual narrative story with the multiplayer. A friend of mine pointed out too, it's like in the last 10 years they've only technically made 2 games, which is, you know, because it's like Last of Us on PS3 and then the remaster, and then there was Uncharted 4, and then Lost Legacy, and then Last of Us 2, and then Last of Us 1 remake. Where is this sci-fi game you guys want to make? Like, I hope that's the next game and not, like, Last of Us 3.
God, Last of Us 3. And it has to be a part 3. It's not even just going to be what I wanted it to be when we first talked about this fucking 8 years ago.
Yeah.
It's just going to be a part 3. It's still going to be Ellie.
Well, yeah, it's Ellie with her daughter? That child she abandoned?
No, wait, I don't... You were the only one that played The Last of Us Part 2, but she ended up alone at the end, didn't she? There was nobody with her, right?
No, so what happens, you know, remember the first big trailer? There's like the makeout scene at, like, that party in town. So she ends up hooking up with that girl. She ended up getting pregnant by her ex-boyfriend. That's, like, one of the characters in the game. So at the end of the game, there's, like, a time skip, and the kid's already born, and Ellie's, like, super, like, messed up, you know, like, I think she's missing, like, a couple fingers or something. I don't remember. She was trying to let it go, like the whole thing with Abby. But then she said, you know what, no, fuck this, and decided to go find her again, and then that's at the end of the game. But I don't remember if it ends with her back at home or wherever she was in California. I don't remember. But I'm sure, like, it'll just be an older Ellie with, you know, raising that kid if they're still together.
I'm sure the cycle will fucking repeat itself. And you know what? It kind of dawned on me that they kind of just stopped giving a shit that she's a cure. It just doesn't matter anymore, does it?
Well, yeah, because nobody can do anything about it anymore. Because, like, at least for the Fireflies, like, their only facility is the one that Joel, like, massacred. So it's like they can't do anything. I'm just slowly starting my my watch through again for Adventure Time. I just started that back up. That's been fun still.
I finally finished the Venture Brothers.
I'm actually with you on the Adventure Time because I'm on season 3. I'm about to finish it right now.
Yeah, I'm on I think I'm on season 4.
You guys are still... Oh, you said it's season 4? You met Fire Princess at this point?
I have, yeah.
Season 3 is pretty dope too. I think season 6 is probably my favorite when you guys get there. I don't know who's your favorite character?
Oh man, I don't know. They're all cool characters. Like, I just saw an episode where it was just all with a lumpy space princess.
I could definitely tell you, out of the people that I don't like, Ellie's gonna take the top.
Yeah, but she's like, that's the whole point, right? Is that she's the annoying character. All the characters are pretty fun and unique. Yeah, like even like Princess Bubblegum, it's like when they do her wacky stuff in the series, that's always a good time.
Yeah, there's a lot of lore. There's implications that it's a new world on top of the old world.
Oh,
you see a bunch of, like, subway stations and cars and stuff. The underworld where Susan Strong came from is basically like ruins of a city.
Oh yeah, because she or she may or may not be human, and that's for you to find out later when you watch the show.
I can't wait till that point where I find out more about what Mushroom War.
Yeah.
If we haven't already talked about this, it's definitely one of these shows, and the Venture Brothers is the same thing. I'm just gonna say it. It's a show where almost every little joke and every insignificant thing will always end up coming back at some point, whether you realize it or not. Small things that they say, little things that they say, things that characters point out. Like, well, I never noticed this before about you, or when has that been there, or how's this always work? Like, whether you pay attention to them or not, because obviously there's like 200 episodes, you may not even remember them all, but it's like one way or another, like I said, it always comes back. And I think that's really awesome when it comes to the storytelling. So Adventure Time does a really good job at that. Regular show also does that. Those are two shows that are definitely worth into. I think those two shows will go hand in hand. So like when you're kind of like, I would say when you had your fill of watching Adventure Time, you can switch over to regular show, because regular show feels like it's more non sequitur.
Yeah.
But there is like a linear progression to it. They don't expect you to pay as close attention as they do in Adventure Time.
Okay.
And I think that's pretty forgiving. That's pretty feasible.
It does get interesting with the sequential order of stuff, because there was like a 2-parter episode I was watching, but there was an episode in between it, and it's like, so when the next episode plays, it's like, it's over. We're not gonna just go back to whatever was going on over there.
Not to go off topic, but it just uses an example. I think that when we see the shows released on the streaming services, they're not in the order that they should be. The way that they get released in the episode list. I remember when they put the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy on HBO Max. It is not in order. You've seen that show. You know the first episode.
Oh, yeah.
Billy and Mandy, and there's the hamster. It's the hamster's birthday, and he dies. The Grim Reaper comes out, and that's how they make the bet with Grim. That's the first episode. So the first episode that they showed on HBO Max is like some episode later on in season 1 where they're just referring back to the bet, like basically episode 2 or 3.
Oh yeah, that's like with my Danny Phantom DVDs. The last 2 seasons, it's out of order, and there's also episodes missing on those, which sucks.
And you bought those DVDs? Well, those are official DVDs?
Yeah, it was the official box set, all 4 seasons.
Lord,
dude, yeah. One of the episodes that's missing is the is when him and Valerie get stuck in the ghost zone, and they get handcuffed by Skulker, and they're on Skulker's island, and it's like a Predator situation basically. It's a great episode, and that's not on there. It's fucking awful.
Wow, man.
Sounds like a Butch Hartman move.
Yeah. Yes, it wasn't Christian enough for him, I guess. So
he's like, I gotta release this in the DVD box set. Sign up for my Patreon.
Yeah, and I'll call your art ugly while I'm at it. Or whatever he says. Like, what is he? It was like one of his clips drawing. He's like, "Do you know who I am? You know what I do? Blah blah blah." It's like, you're talking to a child, I think, sir.
It's very Butch of him.
Yeah,
it's very Butch.
So when you said you finished Venture Brothers, is that with the movie or just the show right now?
Correct. So the movie is basically like the series finale. Yeah, I watched it. The movie is not going to answer every question. I guess to an extent it answered one of the more important questions. There's like a couple of questions throughout the show that are like here and there, and then there are like the big questions about the shows, like I guess not what you would call like the plot holes for the series, but like the tie-ins, the loose ends. And you figure that the movie would go into a lot of these, but it really only covers one loose end. Like, it's not the worst thing. It wasn't what I wanted, but it was still good enough for me to be like, to consider like the case closed. The series ended on a good note.
I imagine it was hard for them to try to figure out what they wanted in that movie, because that was supposed to be a whole season, and the show got canceled. Yeah. And they're like, what the fuck, we still had like another season to do.
It's almost 2 hours. It's like an hour 48.
I really need to go back and just like fully experience Venture Brothers the whole way through, because I think I've only seen like clips here and there, or not clips but episodes every now and then. I know that's a series. It's like, yeah, it's great.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be one of my favorites. I'm going to recommend it probably for the rest of my life.
Yeah. And what is it? Is it 7 seasons, right? And then the movie?
Yeah, 7 seasons in a movie. I think the first 2 seasons are probably the longest. I think the first season is like 26 episodes. The second season is, I think, 23 or 22 episodes. And then, like, it just kind of starts going down from there. The last season being, like, 10 episodes, I think.
All right, guys. Hope you had a good New Year's. We'll catch you all on the next episode. Remember, unversedpodcast@gmail.com. If you have any questions or comments, we'll bring them up on the future episodes. Sorry, guys. Until next time, we'll catch you later.